move towards totalitarianism with a dictatorship, a confiscation of property rights. So in a social state, communist state, to put it that way, you have no property rights, and all land belongs to the state. Everything is central controlled, and you have central planning. But there are some benefits to that, and we have specific reference to the central planning, as we have seen in China. Central planning provided no resistance, a channeling of massive resources, the implementation of capitalistic principles. Otherwise, the Chinese state would have collapsed completely after Mao Zedong. So socialism didn't provide the progressive economic development as people may think due to socialism itself, but due to capitalistic principles implemented, and to a very large extent in Russia also with the implementation of Gorbachev's initiatives, for example. So the problem with socialism, or one of the problems with socialism, is that a small group of people, and a much smaller group of people compared to capitalism, where you also have elites take control of a country, and they replace all the hierarchies. And now I'm referring to hierarchies of professions, in terms of employment, who shall fill which positions, hierarchies in terms of for example, skills, the channeling of funds, in terms of planning, central planning, with only one specific hierarchy. That's the central party, with the Politburo, central planning, all government employees and civilians must work towards the implementation of the central plan. And China is a very great example of that. Also with the implementation of their one-child policy that put them under extreme pressure at the moment, and they will suffer some consequences as a result of that. So with the socialism, all the different hierarchies of choices that you have in a capitalistic state is being replaced by one hierarchy of a central planning, communist-related party to which all property belongs and represent the will of the state, that make all the decisions without any democracy, without any checks and balances, without any watchdogs to protect the citizen from the state. So all the factors of production can be channeled towards specific single strategy or approach of development. Now, in such a system where people doesn't have choices, where people doesn't have free will, compared to a capitalistic country like America, is one of the most distinctive differences between capitalism and socialism. In a country where you have free will and free choice to pursue any business, profession, skills accumulation of your choice, people experiment on the market with different products and services, and we are moving much more into a service industry all over the world as a global trend. That means that even if one specific pillar of the economic system collapse, then people have already started experimenting and found alternative solutions to a very large extent in a capitalistic country, which is not the case in a socialistic country, where central planning and central thought only directed in a specific direction. And if that fails, then the whole state collapse, as we've seen with Mao Zedong, with the Cultural Revolution in China, the bloody 50s and 60s of Mao Zedong, where he killed about as I've said, about 30 million of his own people. Now, that's one of the problems with socialism.